Welcome to Timberland Farms. My name's Anthony.
I'm George.
George is from Full Creek Farm, so you can go check out his channel. He's helping me mill up these logs I got. So I went over to my dad's and he was gracious enough to help me load these up from a tree job he just had in his backyard. These trees were covering up his pool, so now he's got more sunlight and I got free lumber with George's help. So we're going to get these things unloaded. George is going to show me the ropes of how his sawmill works, and hopefully we can make something out of these. There you go. Yellow. So this is George's sawmill here. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Like what brand it is, how big it is, what can it mill up?
So this is Woodland Mills 122. So basically with this we can cut 16 feet long logs, and we can cut up to a log that is 22 inches in diameter.
And that's on the big end, right?
It's on the big end. If you want anything bigger than that, it's a lot of work. So this is just a manual push mill. Everything's manual on it. The lower and the raise is all manual. It's got a 9 horsepower Kohler engine on it. This thing's actually built pretty good. It's got a self-tensioner for the blade here, so you don't have to have a torque wrench on it.
You see it's got a tank up on top there. What's the tank for?
So the tank up here is the lubrication for the blade. So when you're cutting, you always want to make sure that the blade is cool and has some sort of lubrication on it. So basically during the winter time you run windshield washer fluid through it, and during the summertime you just run water with soap.
So like today we're going to put some soap in it.
Yeah, today it's a nice warm day, so we'll just throw some water, a little bit of soap in there. I think today we're going to be milling a lot of pine. I think Anthony wants to build something out of pine, so
yeah,
we'll let you guys figure out what he's going to build.
We're building a wagon, just so you guys know.
So with the Kohler engine, all you have is just this is your on-off switch, this is your choke, and it's just a regular pull cord. There's no key start on this, unfortunately. When you want to move your logs up and down, you just use this. Well, move the head up and down. You move this guy. You have all your measurements on the back here, but I move that around quite a bit depending on what I'm cutting and where I'm cutting it. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I do it anyway.
It's kind of cool how the motor moves with the saw blade and everything as one unit.
Right. That's so that way you don't have to have any extra drive shafts or anything like that. Like I said, this is a rolling unit, so all you do is just follow the track all the way down. You want to make sure that you're as level as possible. Nice. When you get something like this, if you go and buy it, you want to make sure that you put something solid down underneath of it, because leveling it out can be a real bear on uneven ground. So yeah, that's basically it. Over here, when you go to load a log up, all I did was just cut notches in these 4x4s, and you just hook it right on the rail like that. And the easiest way, a lot of people, they want to pick the log up and put it on the mill. But when you do that, it slams it on the mill, and you could bring your mill out of level just by doing that. I actually think it's faster if you get them all stacked up and just roll them on.
Is there a certain spot you put these on, or they just go anywhere?
Well, it all depends on how long the log is. The longer the log, the farther out you can spread them.
Okay.
There's no certain spot on the rail that connects it. So when you go to load up a log, they give you these long pieces of aluminum, and these are your log stops, so that way you don't roll it too far off the back. So all you do is take this guy, drop it in there, tighten it up. So again, all you do is take this square piece, put it down there, tighten up your T, and leave it up like that, so that way you don't roll the log off the back. Because your ramp's on the front, nothing on the back. When I built this and put this here, I made it all temporary because eventually this sawmill is going back in that big barn we're building. So,
and did you use this sawmill to build the lumber for the barn?
95% of the lumber that's on that barn I milled on this sawmill. So, if you want to save money, either find somebody with a sawmill and work a deal out with them, or if you want to get one yourself, save your money up and get one yourself. But just remember, when you're going this route, it's a lot of work. Sawing. I think just to build that, I started building it 9 months ago. So to get that just that far in 9 months, there's a lot of time spent on the sawmill and a lot of time spent up there building there.
What's the best course of action to get this moved? Do you just push it by hand, or?
So there's 2 ways we can do it that I normally do it, but today we're going to have to just push it up by hand because the other day the winch on the four-wheeler stopped working. Most of the time I park the four-wheeler on the back side of the sawmill, right about where you guys are standing. Wrap the winch around this, hook it back on the four-wheeler, and then you just push it in and roll it right up on. But today we're just gonna have to muscle it up because I gotta figure that out. So,
what's that in your hand?
this is a cant hook. They also have a thing called a PV, but from what I understand, the PV has a point on the end.
Okay.
I can't hook that. So, all you do is just watch out. Sometimes you gotta. So you get it started, and then you just roll it up on. Hold on.
This actually rolled up a lot easier than I thought it was going to. The ramp makes a world of a difference.
That's it.
Those log stops work really good.
Yep. We're gonna go ahead and start this thing up, make our first cut. When you're sawmilling, you're basically taking these logs down and you're trying to get them into what they call a cant, and it's a big square. So we want the biggest square we can possibly get. Turn it on, give it a little choke.
say they make some pretty clean cut. Obviously we got to trim it down a little bit further to get this to where it's going, but hopefully we have a hay wagon on it. So we just had to trim off the knot right here because it was too big for the mill to accept. It only takes up to 22 inches long, and that knot made it a little bit more than 22. So I grabbed my chainsaw and was able to trim it. So I guess we'll keep going. Knocking off the lubricant. It's just soapy water. You just mix up some Dawn dish soap in a bottle here, a couple squirts, mix with the rest of the gallon of water.
Flat side to work with. We had a lot of extra branches that stuck out of this and just little lumps, so you got to cut those out. I think Anthony explained down there that we ran into one we had to cut with a chainsaw. Now pretty sure this here's a log that came from here, and I didn't clean it up very well before we did this. So whenever you're milling or something like that, you want to kind of get your edges and stuff. You can take your saw and just kind of go at just a little angle and cut around the outsides and cut some of that stuff off, and it'll make your life a heck of a lot easier when you go to start milling it.
We're building a hay wagon. We're not making no Taj Mahal.
It's not a piano. Give her 2 kicks. Sink that hook down in there. And you just roll it. That guy, put it up on there, push it in tight with the log and screw it in. That's going to hold it enough to get another cut on it. So, I just want everybody to know, there's no exact measurements that I go by. It's just a whole lot of guesswork. So there are charts out there that you can use to get a good cant for what you're making, but
we got our 3x3s. These are going to be the cross members for the wagon. Not many stores carry 3" by 3" true 3" by 3". So this is some of the lumber that we got milled up so far. So here's the wagon. We're putting our cross members on right now. So these are 3" by 6" beams, and then these are 3" by 3" cross members. As far as we're going to make it today, we got all these cross members cut to size, bolted down. We got half of our boards for the decking milled, so we still need to mill some more of those. We need to mill some more uprights. We're using the same 3x3 as we used for the cross members for our uprights for the wagon. We need to notch these posts, put the uprights up, and then we can put the decking down. Made this so then this is going to be an opening on the side on both sides, so we'll be able to unload and load bales on the sides here as well as the front. So this is as far as we're going to make it in this video. Stay tuned for part 2 of this. Hopefully we'll have this up and going and collecting bales. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.